second topic of the day, and I will get to. We're trying to pull up. Can you pull up?
I'm bringing up Facebook
comments.
Yes,
because
ma'am.
people are commenting about this. We will get back to that, but let's
Yes.
go ahead and start talking about holiday tipping. So.
Oh.
Do you guys tip your people, and I mean the people in your life, who are maybe your massage therapist, or your barber, or your hairstylist, or your
Psychiatrist?
babysitter, psychiatrist?
They deserve the money.
Dog sitter. Do you guys feel stressed when it comes to be this time of year? Because A, you have to put presents under the tree, and then you also have to tip or say thank you to your peeps. How do you feel about that?
Okay, this is a big thing in my family. Every year, the building that I live in Philadelphia, sends out a list of all of the doormen in our building, the maintenance people, all of the people that work on the building every day, to give them tips. And so then it's a big building, it's a luxury building in Philadelphia, so you never know exactly what to give out.
Yeah.
Then you're, at the end of the day, giving out like thousands of dollars
Yeah.
in
my
tips
gosh.
to the 20-something people
Some you
that
may not
work
see.
in your building.
Yeah, you may not
Cash,
see them.
not
Yeah.
Cash
gifts.
That's
tips.
kind of an extreme case.
Is it? Because it's reality.
Well, it's because you know your family lives in a building and there's a lot of people that go into that building. I think, in like my parents in Rhode Island will tip the postman. They will tip the guy who sometimes will bring the old school milk and cheese and put it in the milk box at the house.
Yeah.
There's still a milk box?
Yeah, they have a milk box. There's a guy who drives around in a truck and he drops it off.
I
they'll
love
tip.
this.
They will tip the garbage man.
Oh,
And they
wow.
will wait down at the end of the driveway, knowing his route, and they will hand him a little envelope because they are old school like that. And I'm like, you guys don't have to tip everybody.
Yeah, you don't have to do
And
all
so,
that.
but we have a guy who cuts our grass, and I'll tip him. And a gal who comes to the house once in a while who helps clean. You
And
know,
you'll
you
tip
got
her.
I think it's the main people
Yeah.
who you come in contact with. The
Right.
newspaper delivery guy, because he delivers to my house at 3 a.m, and I see him as I'm going out the door, and I'm like,
Okay.
hey man, thank you,
That's so much
because I can go through the
consideration.
paper really quick before I can come in here. So it's the extra effort on his end to make sure the paper gets there when I leave, which is very early.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just the people who. I think it's the people who you really rely on, who are there for you year after year after year, or you'd be like your family. You're going to get into a lot of dollars.
You
could do-
see these people every day. At least in our building,
Yeah.
there's a rotation. So within one day, there are 8 different doormen. And so over the course of the week, you're seeing so
Wow.
many people.
That's a lot.
But what I do notice is that maybe a month or two before Christmas, they start upping the things that they're willing to
All
do.
of a sudden, they're
So they'll come out and
super
well, they always open up doors for you, but they'll pull your luggage in for you. They'll go get that valet card. And
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't
Well,
know
they're
how I
working
feel
for it.
about that.
That's
is
what-
all
you
I'm
know.
saying.
So there's a manners maven out there who has said, oh, well, there are some rules, regulations, some tips that she has for us. We'll go through those. But first she says it's about consideration, A, respect, B, and C, honesty with yourself, especially to say, how much can I actually spend? What's in budget? If I only have a couple of hundred, or maybe, I don't know, you have $50 to spare, how can you get really creative? Does it
Okay.
always have to be monetary? Can it be something that is very tangible, but maybe something you cook on your own or bake on your own that you can give? In my family, what I like to give to like my hairstylist and those sort of people, because tamales are a thing in my culture, and everyone seems to really like desire a tamale or a tamale.
I do.
And so what I'll do is like half a dozen speaks volumes for people. That's like 6 tamales? Heck yeah. That's a couple of meals that you feel very traditional. You feel like
Yeah.
I'm in touch with someone else's culture.
I love
so
that.
I love that. And then also it's a tradition in my family. We have a baking night. We bake, say, 6 different items, and then we get tins and put, make tins and then go deliver them. And honestly, it's to people in our lives who maybe it's just a tradition with each other. Like the Stromings, we go to a family friend's house and then we deliver that. And that's maybe the only time we see them during the year. So for us, it's less about gifting to the people who help and more of like an extension of gifts to
Okay.
the people we don't see that often. I don't know if it's like we're military family and we just like have a lot of little families out there.
Okay.
But this year I want to be better at that. I do, because I haven't been very good in years
It sounds
past.
like an ethnic thing, and I know being from New England, my family's
Yeah, we
all
do.
Italian, and they will make stuff, and they will bake stuff, and they go house to house to relatives and aunts and uncles, and they will bring the food. I mean, food around the holidays is like money, it's like gold.
Yeah,
Right.
So
totally.
it's the thought. I'm thinking, for your building back in Philly, can you get away with a bunch of people getting a $25 gift card.
No way.
You can't. Has to be cash and more than 25.
Oh, absolutely.
But you have so
Are
many
you kidding
people.
Me?
That's
But
insane.
if
That's
everybody in your-
that's kind of ridiculous.
If
to me.
everybody in your building gives a gift card to these dudes, that's several $100
It is.
worth
I
of
need
gift
my mom
cards.
to comment on
It's
here to
Not,
tell me
it's
how
not
much-
like you got to
But
pay
it's
everybody 100%.
But it's also considering, because you said it's a luxury building.
It is, it
so
is.
that comes with the territory, I imagine.
I
I didn't
feel
live
like
wealthy
in no
family. You
luxury
one-up
building
each other.
growing up. I lived in a middle class home, so it's different standards, I'm sure.
Okay, but to our family's defense, they
Well,
do
yeah, and I
things
mean-
for us. So
Okay.
maybe you have a big party and you need extra parking spots. They're more willing to secure those extra parking
Okay.
spots for you.
Wouldn't you just
like
tip
a
them, tip
hotel.
them as they do it?
Uh-uh.
You have to tip
Oh,
at
you
the
don't
end of the
tip
year.
as they do
You
it.
can't
No,
go
because
along.
then it doesn't look right to hand cash over
It's like,
in
oh,
the
thank
building.
you.
Like you're going home, you're at home. You shouldn't do something like that.
Okay, that's
Oh,
something extra.
That's just
Thank-
that's a lifestyle thing
Oh no.
that I think is
But it's
interesting.
very
that I'm learning
strange.
about.
Yeah, it was very strange. When we
I
moved
like
there,
that.
we
That's
were very taken aback by how much money people were giving our door people.
You're like, it's already expensive to live here.
That's such a New York, Philly centric thing.
Oh my
That's
gosh.
Where
very
you,
cool.
I mean, who has a place where there's a doorman and a valet where they live? It's certainly not me.
Yeah.
So I have most people have no experience with that, and I'm sure when you guys moved there, it's like, wow, there's 10 doormen and they want like $500 in Christmas. Like, oh
crazy.
my
Yeah. Okay,
gosh.
let's get to some more of what this manners maven is saying. The amount you give each person should vary. So just depending on what it is they do for you or who it is
Yes.
that they are in your life, it should vary. So don't feel like $20 I have to give to every single person. No, maybe a box of cookies is fine for one,
Sure.
and a 25 gift card is good for another. Cash is ideal for holiday gratuities, but prepaid gift cards also work. So this is according to the
Good,
Maven.
good.
For the professionals in your life, non-monetary gifts are best. Okay, so that's another.
So I'm
thing
not
that they're
getting any.
saying.
I'm not getting any cash from you this
No,
year.
no. The professionals in my life. I
Dang.
guess we assume that you have the money.
No, I had already
Why bring you
factored.
some tamales?
I had already factored into my budget that maybe you're going to cash me up a little bit.
Oh,
Would
David
you
Wong.
Would you like a tamale
I would love a tamale.
or two? Okay,
I
I'll
would
take
Did you
love
guys
that.
know this? David Wong says TIP stands for to ensure promptness.
You
I
know
did
where
not
I
know
learned
that.
I
this?
didn't know
I
that.
didn't
I
know
don't know
that.
if you made that up, David Wong, but I like it.
I learned this at the Railroad Museum in downtown, or Old Sac.
What did you learn?
That TIPS is an acronym.
Oh.
Oh, I
And
didn't know that. Okay.
It came to be back in the day when people would take the train, and at one point in the train's history, and for any train historian buffs out there, correct me if I'm wrong, but there came a point in etiquette where you wouldn't leave your little, because you would sleep in the train overnight. But you weren't allowed to go into the main area without being fully dressed, or at least your hair, your makeup, and clothes on. So you stayed in your little cubby,
Right.
but you needed someone to bring you that cup of water or that whatever, cup of coffee or cookies. And so they would come,
Right.
and then you would tip them quarters or whatever it was, and then it was to ensure, what is it?
A promptness.
Promptness?
And that
That's what I heard. That's what the expert there had said.
Kathy
Oh, I
Ann
think that was
James
accurate.
says
go with
that you
that.
should tip people who go out of their way for you. That makes complete sense.
Yeah.
Anise doesn't like my drink. She thinks it looks gross. Don't hate it until you tried it, Anise.
I'm sure it's
healthy
delicious.
It is
for her.
delicious.
You got mango in there, you said? Mango sweetens that bad boy.
Oh, no,
up
no,
nice.
today is peaches,
Peaches.
and pineapple.
Okay.
Oh, pineapple.
That's a sweet drink.
It's legitimately like an island in a bottle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, but I love Jim Williams. Colbert is a clown, never knows what he's talking about.
So let's
Ouch.
go back to this for a second,
Sorry,
because
yes.
a lot of people are commenting on
Yeah.
this. So Jim Williams does say that about him, so slightly offended. Let's see, I want to go back to some of these I saw. Oh, so Aaron Swanson McGoldrick says, you do pronounce the T in Sacramento. I've lived here my whole life, she
Well, you're
says.
supposed to. You are supposed to say it.
But then-
But people in conversation, it sounds like you're over pronouncing it. Sacramento.
Sis-
Sacramento. You
Sis
know what I'm
Sanchez.
saying?
Word.
Yeah.
Sis Menches does agree and says, no, it's Sacramento, no T.
Well, technically there is a T.
Christy Weller-Borchin, I want
Yes, she-
to talk about what you're saying, because she was basically to her point saying that there's a lot to do in Sacramento.
There is.
Oh,
Sacramento.
yes.
After the tree lighting last night, this was at the Capitol.
The partial tree
The
lighting.
partial,
Oh,
I hear there was a
no.
little malfunction. It's okay, right?
okay.
We tried to stop for some holiday cheer at Morton's house, Foundations, or
Ilfernile.
Oh, yes.
Ilfernile. That's
And
the
they-
Wells Fargo Bank.
Okay. And they were standing, there was
It
a
is.
standing
Where your
room
husband worked.
only because of various events. Downtown is truly booming. P.S. We never did get that quote unquote cheer.
Oh.
Oh, no
saying.
kidding. There's
Yeah.
so many bars and restaurants now that weren't there when I was
It's so true.
Carousing a little bit.
Carousing.
Well, how do I say that?
Living that life.
I'm telling you, to be in your 20s and 30s in this town now is sweet. Sweet.
With the T, a hard T.
Yeah, not sweet. How do you say sweet? Sweet. Yeah.
It's sweet.
Yeah.
Put the tongue at the top of your mouth. Okay.